Discussion forward on markets with Sanjiv Bhasin also joining us. Sanjiv, good morning. Your call on that panic day of buying the market and we'll rebound fast came out pretty accurate, I must say, particularly Reliance Industries, which was leading from the front yesterday. So what's the take now? The near-term profit taking should be done, or one should be holding those positions which one bought in that panic day on Monday?
Yeah, good morning, Ajay. Ajay, two things have happened. One, the war has been an opportunity for yields to fall. And I mean, it's a very unfortunate event, but yields have fallen sharply. Dollar has started to seeing a correction, and oil has come back to, after that Saudi pledge. So all three make up for a very good potpourri for India and emerging markets. We are at the cusp of earnings seasons. I think TCS numbers were fairly in line, and I think the party is just starting. So you could see a little bit of plateauing on the index, but I don't think we will rest before we hit new highs. And like I said, second week or second half of October, we'll see new highs. So stay invested. Try and pick up your stocks. Banks are starting to outperform on yields. And I think now you'll see a lot of energy stocks, particularly the OMCs and Reliance lead from the front. Reliance has just started a move. Ajay, it will go to 2600 plus by Diwali.
Okay. By Diwali, clearly, I mean, below the 2300 mark, we have not seen, I mean, there was a very important technical level as well. The moment it fell below that level, completely oversold. In fact, Somit had done some analysis. It was one of the most oversold stocks in the entire index component. The stock has actually come back. What are the other stocks which are there on your radar, Sanjeev?
So I'll give you three names, maybe four quickly. Firstly, the oil marketing companies. Look, the fall in crude and the rupee strength, all both bode well for margins. IOC, BPCL will report stellar numbers, all three of them. So today I would say go with IOC and BPCL. By the way, yesterday or day before, I gave you GAIL and Ashok Leyland in intraday trades. They rose more than 3%, and they've been very smart traders. And yesterday was Reliance and SRF. Today, I am very, very bullish on the OMCs. IOC, BPCL fit the bill perfectly. Earnings will surprise on the upside, plus the fall in crude and strength in the rupee will add to the margin. Third would be SBI Cards. Credit expansion on the card business is seeing extraordinary growth. They are getting more business from Axis and SBI and HDFC Bank. And I think the quarterly numbers update will be very, very strong. So at 800, you have a very good risk reward of this stock being up 10%. And that could be, on the anvil of a very, very strong credit cycle. So IOC, BPCL and SBI Cards are my three picks for the next week, 10 days and for the next 1 month.
All right, but Sanjeev, what's the outlook on TCS? After having put out a mixed set of numbers, the buyback news came in a little bit below what the street was penciling in. How do you expect the stock to react, and what's your opinion?
Yeah, good morning. So Avan, the street will always be disappointed. They were disappointed at 3,000, at 3,600. What do? For the fifth time, the buyback has come. Each time you sold it after the buyback and bought it back, you made 15%. In a nutshell, if you did 5 buybacks, you are almost up 120%. So stay with the bellwether. These stocks will never be available cheap. Look at the inflow of SIPs. And yes, the clouds on IT are a little bit of a skirmish. But if the yields fall further and you start to see US spending increase, then I think TCS is the most and the biggest bellwether. So I would say stay put. There are other ideas which can do well, but don't ignore a blue chip like TCS. Any weakness would be a buying opportunity.
Sanjeev, hi, morning. There's a upgrade on Zomato by one of the brokerages this morning, which believes that it could climb all the way to 160. Wanted to understand what's your take.
So Aisha, good morning. I've been inviting you to my son's restaurant, and I kept saying that 25% of the margins were taken by Zomato. Now that was 50 rupees. And I could see the earnings because they are making money hands over fist. No two ways. This has been one of our top holdings as a disclosure. We continue to be bullish on the fintech space. By the way, Paytm, Zomato and PB Fintech have been three of our top picks. Paytm just hit a new 52-week high. I think that stock is going to be re-rated, and so is Zomato been. So Fingers crossed, these stocks may hit new highs very, very soon. That means it will cross that 140 which it hit before around the after the listing of the IPO. And actually, the numbers speak for themselves as you start to see profitability over a period of time.
Right. Very interesting, Sanjeev. You're sharing, your son is sharing even more higher amounts with Zomato, the charges, etc. But still, the volumes are so good that both are happy. Very good to know that. The other space which was particularly lighting up yesterday, Sanjeev, was the cement space. The smaller ones, Shree Cement, Grasim, ACC, Ambuja, your older favorite. How do you want to revisit that space? Would you be a buyer there in any of your names?
So Ajay, as a disclosure, like we said, ACC, Ambuja, Ultratech is our top pick. You can add a Dalmia Bharat because Dalmia Bharat now, even though there is a little bit of a debt overhang, but the JP acquisition makes it arguably the sixth largest player after Shree Cement. And in the sector or the region which they are, I think prices are going up across the board. So it's an indicator that capex growth, road building, all the construction activity, why is DLF and Godrej hitting new highs? In fact, the input costs are materials are doing extremely well. And I would say go with the top large cap, that is Ultratech. Ultratech can see 10,000 rupees come in this year itself.
What about your outlook on the likes of Patanjali, Sanjeev, which came out with their overall business updates? How have you read into it?
Well, Aman, I haven't had a look at that, so I'll pass that question. If you can ask any other stock, I've not had a look at Patanjali earning.
All right, fair enough. Yesterday, we did see a very impressive breakout and up move in the likes of a Grasim as well as something like Nestle from the FMCG space. Do you track these companies and what's the view?
Well, Nestle has been our star pick on the FMCG side, particularly on the back when Mr. Narayan, almost 1 year back said that they are increasing their capex by 5,000 crore. The company which invested over 15,000 crore in the last 10 years has now said that in the next 2 years they'll do 5,000 crore, which means their outlook on India is very, very bullish. And given the spate of businesses which they are in and the new launches, particularly the cereal for the newly born and so
Steve,
on.
Apologies for that. We'll let you go on that note. Let's take it across then to the TCS boardroom. My colleague Anisha, right there in the thick